Hi, how are you? I'm Duncan Yells from Property Wealth Partners. For many years now, one of the fundamental questions that I sit down and talk with to a client about is retirement and what they're actually wanting to do. Now look, when you're sitting down talking to a kid that's 19, 20 years of age, retirement's so far off, it doesn't matter. And frankly, I remember being there as well. Superannuation, that's all too much for you. Yeah, okay, the employers put money into super, fine, that's 20, 30, 40 years away. Not a stress. Believe me, it comes up sooner rather than later. And for a lot of investors in Australia right now, in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, is actually becoming realer about what the impact is and where they're actually going to be at when they get towards retirement age. Because we're not looking at huge incomes to the government anymore. The way we get paid in our pension and the retirement is lessening. The amount of money that's actually available for us to live off is getting less. And so our own wealth creation strategy is becoming more and more important each and every day. A couple of thoughts for you I'd like to go through, and this is the same sort of thing that I've gone through with over and over again, and you may have seen it before. If we look at, sort of peace sign, if we look at our working life, we spend time working, we spend time playing or family, and we spend time sleeping. And hopefully, most of our life that's pretty well balanced. Unfortunately for a lot of us, we spend a lot more time working and a lot less time playing, and even a lot less time sleeping and more time working. So our life can be pretty out of balance. Hopefully though, with all the work we're doing, we're actually creating some good income and putting ourselves in a position where we can actually take that into our retirement. Now unfortunately, for a lot of investors in Australia, a lot of people in Australia, they're looking down the barrel of retiring on somewhere between $100,000 and $150,000 in total. It's not a lot of money. And if we sit down, we've got this goal of living on $40,000, $50,000 a year, $1,000 a week income, having $140,000 in super, we're going to run out of super within 3 years, which is going to mean we're going to end up in retirement living off the pension. And the pension is equivalent for a couple of about $23,000, $25,000 per annum at the moment. So I'd like to ask you right now, could you live off $25,000 per annum and still pay for the bill and pay for the cars and take some travel and do some things in retirement that, as a result of you not having an income, all of a sudden becomes sleep and play? There's no work left in there. So can you actually afford to retire on that sort of money? And if you've got a super balance, or you're looking at a super balance of less than about $1 to $2 million in cash or in equity, very possibly you're going to be sitting in a situation where you're going to have to rely on the pension. If you're not happy with where you're at right now, quite possibly now would be a great opportunity to sit down and have your current strategy reviewed. It's a complimentary service we give to all our clients. We collect a lot of information from you, spend a lot of time getting all the information in, sitting down with the whole team, and we case conference each week. Our finance team, our buyers agency team, our accountants team, and our strategy team all sit down and review all our clients' data that's come to us. And as a result, we go back to you and actually give you some suggestions on what you could be doing. We all do our own bit. I don't profess to be an accountant or a solicitor. My finance guys don't profess to be accountants, solicitors, or buyers agents or property specialists. We all do our own specialty. So if your team hasn't got a great plan in place for you right now, for your retirement, and even between now and retirement, would like to take the opportunity to offer to you to sit down with us and have a look at where you're at. I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to bring up some more information and take on that as well. John, can you just flick through to the next one? And the next one after that. Next one. Okay.
This one?
That one, that's all do there. Okay. Now, we just went through that and the possibility that where will you be in retirement and looking at what your current strategy is. Here's some really disturbing information for you to consider. And I believe it actually is quite disturbing. And hopefully you've seen this, and if you haven't, you can go online and Google and actually check my numbers quite specifically. If we look at 100 people here in Australia, and we look at them at the age of 65, and where they'll be, what they'll actually achieved. A really disturbing fact is about 75 of them will be living off the pension. Sorry, not 75%, 75 people out of that 100 people will be living off a pension. Now, a few of them will actually have some wealth in retirement. Maybe about 7, 8 people. And they'll actually have some income, some assets coming off some property or other investments. Out of that 100 people, we're going to have about 3 out of 100 that are actually independently wealthy. They can actually support themselves and don't need a pension. And then one person will be able to totally support themselves into their retirement. Now, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, how much do you think that person is earning? What do they call independently wealthy? What does the Australian Bureau of Statistics consider? Now, for a lot of you out there, and I've asked this question many times over at different seminars and workshops that I've run, and you get some people saying, oh, look, $100,000 a year, and other people say, what rubbish, no, independently wealth, that's like more like Rupert Murdoch. No, they're earning millions of dollars a year. And some will be a little bit more realistic, oh no, it's got to be $250,000, $300,000 a year, $500,000 a year. Well, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, that wealthy person earns $1,000 a week or more. 1 in 100 people. 1 in 100 people, based on today's marketplace, based on the numbers and the information we have, economic data we have coming out of the ATO and Australian Bureau of Statistics, is suggesting that 1 in 100 people will retire on $1,000 or more income a week when they turn 65. Now, if that doesn't scare the shit out of you, and I'm being graphic, it doesn't scare it out of you, I don't know what will. Whether you're 25, 35, 45 or 55, you need to have some fantastic strategy in place, and you need to have a fantastic team around you making sure you get the best results out of what you do. Yes, of course, if you're 25, you've got a bit more time and you can be a little bit more adventurous. The plan's a bit longer in time. We see a lot of clients though in 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. They're running out of time really, really quickly. And they need to get some fantastic results very, very quickly, but do it safely. If you're interested in that sort of scenario, I'm more than happy to sit down and see how we can assist you. If it's not us that you work with, I just request of you that you actually take some time and look at where you want to be at the age of 65. I'm Duncan Yells from Property Wealth Partners. Have a great day. Cheers.